Welcome. Hey, we are going to jump right in today, and you might be watching on Facebook, you might be watching on the private community group. I want to jump in to why diets failed, and specifically the three most overlooked culprits. So this is for you if you've tried all the diets and feel like nothing has worked for you, if you've lost the weight only to gain it back again, if you were super on track with it and then fell off track, if you hit a plateau. All of that is going to tie back into these three often overlooked culprits as to why diets don't work. And it's super frustrating because I know the vibe and the tribe that I track, you are weight makers. When you are set and determined to get something done, you get it done. So you've probably followed many programs in the past and you feel like there must be something wrong with you, or maybe you feel like you need more discipline or motivation or something along those lines. And I'm going to share with you today why all of that is just not the truth. And I'm going to move a screen around real quick and just make sure that we are good to go. And I'm just checking real quick. It looks like we are good. All right, guys, we're going to rock and roll with this and jump right into the three overlooked culprits. Before I share these three reasons, because once you understand what these three culprits are, the reasons why the diets fail, then you'll have a better understanding of what to do instead. Fair enough? Full transparency, I'm going to share with you an opportunity to raise your hand to learn more about my new Kingdom Fit weight loss program. The goal and the objective of that program is to one thing, focus on helping you lose your next 20 pounds and know that you've lost it for good. No more crazy diets, pills, shakes. I don't teach that, haven't taught it in a long time. Anyway, but I mean, in this system, you will learn a way to get the weight that you want and also make it sustainable. And I'm going to be super transparent in this moment too. My dogs are so ridiculously distracting today. I don't know if you guys can hear it. If you can, I tried to crate them before I jumped live and I can still hear them from the other room, but we're going to keep rolling with it. For those of you that want to learn more about the Kingdom Fit weight loss program, there's never been a better chance to get started. Y'all know I've been around the block. I've been a coach for over 13 years. My own personal transformation story 20 years ago. I've had the blessing and the honor of helping thousands transform. And yet this program, there's a new iteration and some tweaks that I've made to it. And so I would love for you to join me in the next 90 days so that I can help you lose the 20 pounds. You're confident that you've lost it for good. You have the framework to reach your forever goals. And we get to tweak this program as we go. Fair enough, just in terms of the delivery and those types of things. So with that, let's jump right in. If you want more information about the Kingdom Fit weight loss program, just type info below and we'll connect on DM. There's no sales calls, no pressure. If I have to pull you in, I have to pull you along, and that's just not my style. Fair enough? So the number one reason, I wouldn't say the number one, but the first one I'm going to talk about in terms of why diets fail. When I share these three things with you, it makes so much sense. The challenge is I want to remind you that you are strong, you are intelligent, you are powerful, but we are so conditioned by diet culture and the fitness industry, the majority of it, that these diets are the solution and they should work. And if you missed last week's training, I talked about what in a bigger picture, what is missing from the overall holistic approach to becoming your best physically and being able to get that body that you want, because it has a ripple effect into all other aspects of life. But fitness industry, diet culture doesn't teach a few key elements. So if you missed last week's training on what is missing, then type last week below or send me a DM and I'll connect you with the link for that. Now we're going to talk about that. One of the tiers that we did start to talk about last week is the nutrition piece, and specifically diets. So now we're going to go into a little bit more detail as to why diets fail. The first being that diets lack personalization. So whether you're trying to follow keto or you're trying to follow Aunt Susie's plan because that worked for her, or some sort of system that worked for Jane, or whatever the case may be, The reality is that those systems, those diets are a one-size-fit-all approach. And I get it that the guru that's promoting that diet is going to tell you that it's the solution. There are some quote unquote really popular systems out there that have fueling systems or meals or what have you, and they might be doctor supported. But I am here to tell you that when you look at those types of things, it may have started with the right heart and the right intention. And also the fitness space, the products, the pills, the shakes, all of that, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So you also get to look at, yes, there are great products to use to leverage for a period of time. That's a whole nother conversation. However, if it is not something that is going to fit your lifestyle, if it is not something that's going to fit your unique individual preferences, if it's not something that's going to help you address your underlying challenges, then even if it helps you get a temporary result, it is not going to be the solution that's going to allow you to create a lifestyle change that you see as sustainable. I'll give you an example of this lack of personalization and sustainability. I had the honor of working with multiple clients that have come from big networking type solutions, systems, those types of things. I won't name any today. And I will tell you that every person I've worked with gets to a point where they feel as if they finally realize, and sadly, it might be 2 or 3 years into that program, they realize that they don't want to live the rest of their life this way. They realize that trying to fit in fuelings or trying to fit in shakes instead of knowing how to enjoy a holiday meal or how to enjoy a Friday night with family, they aren't taught to that. They aren't taught how to integrate it into their individual life. So not only that, but I will summarize this one by this because this kind of goes into the third one that I want to share with you. But on this lack of personalization, let me just affirm what you've probably already found to be true. My glasses are on crooked and I don't need them right now. What you've already probably found to be true is that some diets work for some people some of the time. But I want to affirm for you, not all diets work for all people all of the time. Not only that, but most of what is out there is not meant or designed to be something that you use for a lifetime. And let me leave it at that. So understand that the first reason diets fail is because they lack the personalization. You get to instead learn how to eat in a way that's going to fit your body goals, your personal preferences, and your lifestyle, so that when you learn how to do that, it becomes a system that is created for you by you in collaboration with a knowledgeable coach mentor that's been there, done that, and has helped plenty of other people do it too, so that you can see yourself following that for the rest of your life. Make sense? If it's making sense in the comments, type "makes sense" in the comments. Dogs have calmed down. Now I'm in the zone. I apologize for that rough start. Hopefully you were able to get beyond that. So the second thing that diets do not address is mental roadblocks. Diets focus on external behaviors, but they overlook the importance of internal beliefs and thoughts. We talked about this a little bit last week as well, because it's one of the pillars. But if you, just as God's word says, for as he thinks in his heart, it's one of my life verses. People ask me all the time what my tattoos are. This is one of them. I don't recommend verses on your body, but it was something that was important to me. But my point is, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Our thoughts fuel our beliefs and our emotions. Our beliefs and our emotions fuel our choices. Our choices, made consistently over time, impact our habits or create our habits. Our habits are what we are living today. Everything you're experiencing today is a byproduct that started with thoughts. beliefs, emotions. I don't have time to go into that for too much today, or I'm not going to make the time to go into that too much today. We talked about it a little bit last week. But understand that you can put on a flimsy Band-Aid all day long, and it might hold for a temporary period of time. So you might lose that 20 pounds and be able to hold on to it for a temporary period of time. And when I say temporary, hear me, in case you're in the midst of a longer cycle, that temporary could be a year, could be 2 years. But until you slow down, and actually it's not even a huge slowdown, it's just knowing a couple of things to focus on. Something I teach in the Kingdom Fit Weight Loss Program, shameless plug, but it's true. Until you understand how to look at those thoughts, beliefs that impact your behaviors, then you will continue to fall backwards. You will, Gay Hendricks talks about in the big leap, you will continue to rubber band back to the old version of your choices, your habits, all of that. So in order for you to make changes that are sustainable, you get to, yes, focus on nutrition that's going to fit your lifestyle, knowing how to create nutrition protocols that fit your lifestyle and don't force you to give up favorite foods, all that kind of stuff. And also look at the thoughts, the beliefs, the choices, the behaviors that allow you to really embody the identity of the healthy, fit version of yourself. Because you will never hit and sustain, and this is true in any aspect of life, beyond your core belief system. So if you don't see, believe, and fully embody that fit version of you, you will not be able to sustain the result that you get from any kind of diet. Not only is the diet itself not sustainable, but your belief system is not going to hold out to allow you to sustain it, to hold capacity for it. Make sense? So I'm looking at my notes real quick. Yes, true transformation requires both body and mind to be able to work in harmony. And of course, we add in combination with our personal relationship with God. We talked about that last week, right? You get to look at the limiting, stinking thinking, or the self-sabotaging in order to make it sustainable. So diets alone do not work. The third reason diets fail is because they set unrealistic restrictions. And we kind of talked about this, but I really want to dial this home, and then we're going to wrap this up. If you're just joining live, type live. If you're watching replay, type replay, all good. And want to remind you that if you've gotten this far and missed the beginning, or you're just jumping in, Kingdom Fit Weight Loss Program is now open. The goal and the focus is to help you lose 20 pounds or more in 90 days or less in a way that you know that you've lost it for good this time, and you have the tools, the foundation, and the system to be able to hit your forever goals. So if you want more on that, type Kingdom Fit below, send me a DM. Actually, send me a DM and then type done below so that I know, so I see both. So the third being unrealistic expectations. The third reason diets fail is these unrealistic expectations. When you think about it, again, we talked about this a second ago, but I really want to dial it home. If the process you followed to lose the weight in the first place is not a process you see yourself doing for the rest of your life, then why would you expect the result you got from that process to sustain for the rest of your life, right? And again, no condemnation, not trying to beat you up, just trying to speak truth and love, because that is the only, when we know better, we do better, right? And so it's really unfair of ourselves. And if you don't know my story, I've been there, done that. That's why I'm so passionate about what I teach now, is because me going from stumbling through all of this in many different iterations. I'm 20 years in my process. I went from, started with a challenge with emotional eating, turned into food for all the things, turned into, an eating disorder, then went through adrenal fatigue a few years back. Now I'm just hit 50, and a few years ago, hormones shifted from that. And so all of these, and PCOS, all of these things that I got to experience so that I can teach them forward. And so understand that Like, I've been there. I've been through all of this. So there's never any judgment or condemnation. On the other side of it, I'm like, dude, it's so much better. Sister, come. And I want to grab you and pull you all along and shake, like scream from the mountaintops why these diet systems, all of these things are failing you and what to do instead, because I want you to be empowered and like driven from the inside out. It's the number on the scale, 6-pack abs if you want them, feeling confident in your bathing suit, being able to like get dressed in 30 seconds instead of 30 minutes. All of those are awesome side effects of doing these things the right way, because it has a ripple effect on every other aspect of life. God has shown me in my own personal testimony time and time again, every time he's calling me into my next iteration of purpose, next iteration of impact, he requires of me a next level of health and well-being in mind, body, and spirit. And our physical reflection is part of that. So when we look at these, tangent for a reason, I'm sure, but when we get unrealistic about what we're choosing to follow, for example, whether we're extreme calorie cutting, that's honestly one of the hardest things hardest might not be the right word. Unfortunate, sad. I don't know. It just like when women come to me and they've been starving themselves on 500, 1,000, 1,200 calories a day, they don't understand yet the effect that's having on everything else, on your energy, on your mood, on your ability to sleep, on your hormones. Hair is probably thinning. You probably have brain fog. You probably have normalized so you don't even get hungry. You're like, well, I don't eat because I'm not hungry. You don't eat because you're not hungry because somewhere along the line, your body stopped telling you, giving you the hunger signals because it learned like you're not going to feed it. There's this whole thing. I could talk about that forever too, but understanding that when we go through, I have a podcast actually on damaging effects of diet trends, right? And I talk about that in this and more, in that when we do this extreme caloric restriction or we eliminate entire food groups, that only amplifies feeling frustrated with food, feeling like we have all of these food rules. For me, it actually amplified the eating disorder and created that cycle because I had all these crazy food rules of what was good and what was bad. And then I attached my value to if I was, and sister, I was like, this wasn't me in a pity party. Like I had struggled with emotional eating disorder well into being really, really successful. So this isn't someone that is like a weak woman that has these challenges. This is just for some of us for a period of time. It does not have to be the cross that you bear for the rest of your life. But for a period of time, that is the thing that the enemy uses to attack us. That is the thing that is the thorn in our side. And when it's removed, as much as you've been having this amazing impact, it means there's even more in you. Fair enough? So when you choose to like have these huge, yes, in order for like basic math, basic biology, there has to be a deficit in order for you to be losing. But when you have these extreme deficits and you have these extreme restrictions, they cause more damage than good. And I'm already running longer, so I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. But I will just impress upon you the extreme dieting of extreme calorie cuts or eliminating entire food groups, the ability to be able to, or what was I going to say? I'm sorry. Over time, that leads to a poor relationship with food. That leads to it can lead to a reward and punishment type situation with food. All of these things. And so what we get to do is learn how to undo what's been done, if that's you, and to learn how to have a healthy relationship with food. Because until you have a healthy relationship with food, until you see it where it's a source and not a resource, right? Then you're going to continue to struggle and be in this yo-yo cycle. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to wrap it up here. Just to kind of summarize what we talked about today is the 3 reasons diets fail, the 3 culprits, is lack of personalization. Diets do not address all of our mental roadblocks, stinking thinking, sabotage sister in our heads, right? And diets create these unrealistic restrictions that are not only not sustainable, but they're causing more damage than good. And you may not see it in the moment, but it has a ripple effect. I don't know about you, but I want to be highly functioning at my 80s and 90s, mentally, physically, all of those things. What we do today impacts how we show up in our 70s and our 80s, right? Our conversations get a little different over 40. Fair enough? All right. With that, if you have any questions, drop them below and tune in next week. I forgot what we're doing next week. Let's see. Do I have it on my board? Yes. Oh, next week, we're going to be talking about how to thrive through the holidays. How to thrive through the holidays. So tune in then. Stay tuned for the day and time, all that good stuff. And for those of you that are ready to say that now is the day, truly, I want to pause and kind of gain my composure for you, because I just cannot impress upon you enough how much getting your health and your well-being dialed in impacts every other aspect of your life. You might feel like you're too busy. You might feel like you have failed too many times in the past. You might feel like you can't get it done because of X, Y, and Z condition, medication, whatever it is. And I'm going to entertain you for a moment and say maybe, but maybe you should try one more time. Maybe you bet on yourself one more time. Maybe you send me a DM and have a chat and just see. Maybe you get to look at all of the countless success stories, and it's not about me. It's to show you that over a decade of coaching, I've had the honor to work with women of all types of schedules, backgrounds, medical, whatever. I'm not trying to say that I cure anything. Got to be really careful about that. But I'm telling you, you've just not yet discovered the way that is going to work with you. And I can guarantee you that you have not yet tried the method that I teach my clients, in which we get to focus on the outcome goal is helping you lose your next 20 pounds for good without giving up your favorite foods or spending hours at the gym, even if you're crazy busy, no matter how many times you failed in the past. That's the outcome. How we do that is by addressing the food frustrations, by addressing the mental roadblocks, limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, whatever term works for you, and also by teaching how to create a lifestyle around this without feeling like it's like a lifestyle you love. Fair enough? All right. So if you're ready to jump in and take care of that, take action on that and stand for yourself, then send me a DM, Kingdom Fit, type done below. And with that, signing off for the day. See you next week, guys, or before then. Bye.